on the road. They took on ASU the other night with a shutout win. Now it's 3 against the Wildcats. Beautiful Oklahoma State excited for a big road series as well. 92 on base percentage. Talon Edwards at the top of it, and away we go with the screwball that dots the outside corner. Smokey Eads raises that right arm. The home plate umpire, Mike Bartling, out at first. Brett Higgins over at third. They're the umpires in our game tonight. Another screwball. It's got some life on it. Into the other batter's box it goes. Well, there she is. So these are the great numbers. The whip is crazy. How does she do it? How does she do so effectively well?
She hits spots. So when Devin is rolling and pitching her best, she's locating low in the zone. Ground ball out. Diving effort there from Taylor Beal. But she keeps the ball low. She can elevate if she needs to. We'll use curve, screw, see it change up every now and then.
Edwards is on. That raises the batting average up. The on-base percentage close to 400 with that hit. She's an active hitter, as are most top-of-the-order hitters. Doesn't walk much. And right behind her is a unique player, to say the least. Tia Warsop can fly. Plays for the Great Britain national team at the highest of levels. Was born in England. And she check swing, lifts that one into left field, ranging back the Gold Glover. Dakota Kennedy is there under it for the out.
With someone like the speed of Warsop, you want to get that ball on the ground. And so as a pitcher, you're going to always make sure that you try and do the opposite, which is elevate that ball and get a pop-up.
The power is in the middle with Hassler. The power is in the middle with Arizona. There's a little bit more slug when you're going to compare lineups, right? Arizona a little stronger.
Arizona offensively is one of the best teams in the nation.
Rosie
Oklahoma
Davis
State
flies out.
Yeah, they've been getting better and progressing as the season's gone on. And it's been a lineup that has had a lot of changes over the last month or so, and trying to make sure they find the right pieces to gel and to peak at the right time, right? Everything is trending towards May, and as we enter a new month here in April, kind of crazy to say that the season is halfway over, but want to make sure you try and find all those pieces and put them together at the right spot.
Amanda Hassler, an NC State transfer. There's some power here. She's got 8 home runs on the year and is also a real steady catcher, an important piece of Kenny Gajewski's lineup. Pitch in much. You'd think she'd really create that ineffective, that real uncomfortable swing, but it's just down, 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 and she changes the lineup side enough, right?
We'll see more rise balls this year that we saw from Ruby last year. It's a pitch that she's been really working into her arsenal. Of course, we all know that she likes to pound the zone low with that drop ball, not afraid to go into lefties, to your point. Also, we'll just work the other side just as much, arm side, but it's up and down. It's pretty simple with Ruby.
Good to have Dakota Kennedy back, active, healthy, hitting 500. That's right, and you look at the numbers on the year, 30 hits, 60 at-bats. You got 13 walks. You got a 581 on-base percentage. This is an athlete that a season ago and an entire season had a 521 on-base percentage. There's power there, too. And there's that. So right away we see a difference from what we saw the other night. Pounding that strike zone, a leadoff walk to open this game. Patience for Kennedy.
Quick conversation with Hassler and Malin. Drop it just a little bit low.
Reagan Shockey's 37th game of the year in which she has played, a season in which she has led this team with 54 hits. Shockey, like any active slapper, does not strike out at all, does not walk at all. It's an action play when she's in there, as that one is dropped foul. Looked like she fouled it off her foot.
Reagan Shockey, a lot of tools, obviously, with a leadoff runner on base and the speed of Dakota Kennedy. Her job is to advance Kennedy over to second base, but at the same time, she has the ability to just get herself on base. It's why she's in that 2-hole.
Started 56 games a season ago. This has been, since she walked on campus, a spot that she has earned, and that's a compliment. Part of it's, though, her defense in center field.
One of the best. Of course, playing for one of the best to ever do it in center field, and Coach Lowe. Oklahoma State defensively really shifted over. You can see Warsop really hugging the line. She's even out of frame. You can see Delgadillo playing almost a left center field.
Back to the screen it goes. We'll watch her swing a bat now a little bit more. A couple of strikes, 2-2 the count. An offense in that dugout that gets on 46% of the time. No one's close in the conference. 455 team on base percentage. Top 5 in the nation in hits overall. High bouncing ball, and this is how they do it. Shockey is on. It's just constant pressure. So you've got a walk and then a single. Nothing hit hard. 2 runners on.
Well, to my point, this is why Reagan Shockey is sitting in this 2-hole. It's because she has the ability to work the dirt, get herself on base, and there's just no play anywhere. Dakota Kennedy has great speed, so if you can get the sacrifice with a +1, that's why she has been consistently in that 2-hole this entire season.
Ruby Malin is a pitcher that doesn't fade in these situations, doesn't melt at all. As a matter of fact, this year, 83% left on base rate. That's incredibly high, as that one is a screwball that dots the outside corner, which means runners on don't always come in. As a matter of fact, they rarely come in, and that's a big number for Malin as she deals with Altmaier. Prolific ground ball pitcher. Stabs at that one, and just like that, it's 0-2.
Sometimes when you're facing a drop ball pitcher, of course, you always think about the rise ball in a sacrifice bunt situation, but that drop, I'll tell you, is really tough to handle.
Quick conversation here. I'm curious what you think this could be.
Just situational. You have a hitter that's tough to scout in Kaya Altmaier because she has a lot of different tools on the left side of the box. So what is she doing? We just have seen a little bit of both. We saw the bunt, and then she was swinging away in her first pitch of the at-bat. So what are we seeing? Let's talk about how we're going to be pitching. Also, you have Dakota Kennedy at second base. So in this situation, you're typically going to see the pitchers pitch, especially a left-handed hitter, pitch her outside, force the ball to the left side of your infield to get the easier force out at third base.
By the way, Altmaier's the kind of hitter that will bait you, and it seems hard to do at an 0-2 count. She doesn't strike out at all, and she walks like a madwoman. Into the dirt, beautiful read. Can't find it anyway. Runners on second and third, base open now. Hassler, try as she may, couldn't find it. Don't know if it would have made a difference.
Trying to expand the zone here with the drop ball, and Hassler trying to pick it. It rolls up her glove and just taking too long to locate it.
She hit her spot. You could see Malin point right into her catcher, Hassler. That's exactly where I wanted it.
And great base running there from Dakota Kennedy. Small lead. You do not want to have a big lead at third base, especially no outs. Quick tag. Watch her sliding in just a little bit, making sure if that throw did come in, she was going to be right in that throw line, if you will, but no play there. Again, a good catch, a good tag. Nice piece of hitting from Altmaier as well.
Well, here comes the Thunder in the heart of the order. Devin Netz first, double-digit home run hitters, 3 in succession for the Arizona Wildcats. The two-way player Netz, as we spoke of. It was in 21 and 22. She didn't hit much upon arriving on campus. In 23, she did. Out all of last year, as she takes low. Said something interesting. I had a chance to talk a little bit more in depth with Devin. She said, I connected with my team and with my coaching staff and said the following: don't give up on me. If I don't make it back, I'm going to try to make it back this year. I need you to not give up on me for my psyche. I found that to be a vulnerable thing to say, an open thing to say, but she let her head coach know. She let her key teammates know. Because there came a point last year when she realized, I'm not going to make it back.
Also, just redshirting your senior season is kind of a weird thing. And so you feel those eyeballs, and I can say that because, well, I did that as well.
I knew it, yeah.
Yeah, you feel all those eyeballs looking at you, kind of turning their head a little bit, going, is this really the path that is headed your way? And you want to make sure that you're feeling right. You only have so many years to play this sport at this level, and you know, talking to Devin, she just did not feel good last year. So made the decision to sit it out. And I think if anybody's watching her perform this season, it was the right choice.
Yeah, there's two unique hitters, really, when you talk about it. One is on deck, and Stoddard. Stoddard took a complete year away from the sport as well, went home to Southern California, and is having an All-American caliber year just like Sydney Stewart is, a talented catcher who digs in with Stoddard on deck. And that one dots the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Power after power. Stewart, 10 home runs, slugging .732, and again, a patient hitter. She's walked 30 times this year. Great leverage in the box.
Well, this is the matchup that I have been personally waiting for a little bit. This is last year's battery for the University of Washington with Ruby Malin, the All-American in the circle, who was pitching to Sydney Stewart behind the plate all last season. Now on two different teams here, meeting in Tucson in the Big 12.
Watching Malin the other night, watching her now, she's reached that point where she can slow the game down a little bit. Almost a wry smile a minute ago, knowing who she's facing. That one is low and outside. When the ground ball is your friend and it's part of your approach, you've got to stay stubborn, which means if you're Arizona, you've got to stay patient. 3-1 right off the screen. Well, she challenged her there.
If anyone's going to know exactly the pitches and what they look like, what she's thinking, it's going to be someone that you spent the last couple of seasons with in the bullpens, of course, in the games. That pitcher-catcher relationship. It's just kind of a fun dynamic here.
3-2 the count. In on her hands, fights it off. Turned that one over just a little bit in and off the plate.
I love how Malin has gotten back into this at-bat, fell behind 3-1, didn't give up. Kind of see her talking to herself, trying to work through that ground or that drop ball that she's missing low in the zone.
Great at bat. It rolls on. 3-2 the count. 3 consecutive foul balls with a full count. Ruby Malin in her decorated career at Washington and Oklahoma State works with a sub-2 career ERA. There's the patience we talked about. Stubborn, stubborn, stubborn. You swing at that, it could be a double play.
Well, third walk in this inning for Ruby in the circle. It's almost looked like she's pitching through her drop a little bit too much. It's almost got too much on it where it's not obviously elevated enough to catch the strike zone. So it's got too much movement and it's diving through the zone. Everything's just too low.
Here's the other giant power threat in Stoddard as she takes low. That's just what occurred there. Great eye that you had on that one. How do you alleviate that problem?
Well, you got to take a deep breath and reset mentally because you just need one pitch to feel good about it. And kind of reset. You know exactly what it feels like when you're rolling.
2-0. Boy, do they look prepared. These hitters really look prepared. Stoddard hitting over 400. Has 11 home runs on the year. Screwball and a good one, 2-1. From Anaheim, California, went to Orange Lutheran, transferred from Kentucky. Took a year off away from the sport.
Oof. The last two drops that she's been trying to throw on the outside part of the plate have leaked over on the inside part of the plate. I thought that one even missed for a strike. I feel like maybe that's what threw off Eads behind the plate.
Yeah, the count's 3-1. Into the catcher's mitt it goes. Little rise on that one. Spun it uphill.
Yes, go do something different. If you can throw a rise and locate it down in the zone when you're not getting the drop, you're not getting the location that you want, go to a different pitch.
Yeah, feeling for that light switch in the dark right now. The 3-2 screwball down. It's ball 4. A rare start for one of the aces of this conference. It's 2-0, a bases-loaded walk to the slugger Stoddard. Jenna Sniffen, from the moment they opened up this park and opened up this season as a freshman, has been playing third base very, very well, hitting .287 on the year, on base about 100 points higher as she takes strike one. I'm going to guess you've enjoyed watching her evolution. She's been a defensive stalwart from the beginning, but her hitting's coming along.
Exactly that, and this is the only freshman in the lineup for Arizona. It's such a tough thing to make a lineup in any program in the Big 12, ACC, SEC, you name it. If you're a freshman cracking the lineup, that tells me that the coaches really are seeing something, and they have the hope in the future that your career is going to be a 4-year starter. They want to get that career started early in year one. And she's been solid at third base.
Bouncing ball back behind home plate, to the screen it goes. I think that's the key. You can gamble a little bit when you have such a deep lineup around her, and she's making every play that she needs to at third. Let her learn, let her grow, let her be taught by your staff. Hawaiian native. The 0-2 just got a piece.
One thing I will see, I'm seeing a little bit differently in this at-bat for Sniffen, is she's expanding the zone, and that's something that we haven't seen with the 3 hitters in front of her, and Stewart, Netz, Stoddard, all juniors and seniors, and so that's just, to me, the little difference right there. Little bit aggressive for the freshman at the plate.
And that's what you're thinking if, in fact, you're Malin. I'm going to hunt a strikeout then. I've got it on the hook.
And you feel the difference in the lineup because she knows who Devin Netz is. She knows, of course, who Sydney Stewart is, right? Old battery mates. And so you're like, where can I find a win in this lineup? And unfortunately, you're going to look at the 7-hole and the freshman, and it's reset time. Got to go get this batter right now.
Taylor Beal, another incredible defender. She pops that one foul off the screen. A year in which we've seen Taylor hit .299 with a .382 on base percentage. Again, contact is key, really tough to strike out. She'll try to make him at least make a play here. Screwball, good take. The interesting thing about Sniffen going down, that's only the 8th time Jenna had struck out this year. I think the All-American caliber ace maybe climbed into her head a little bit. 1-2.
I know, of course, Arizona's happy to have the 2-run lead here in the first, but hey, you had bases loaded and 1 out, and this is a situation where if Malin gets out of this is a situation you just do not have very often against a pitcher like her.
Nice play behind the plate. She thanks her catcher, Hassler, there. I can picture you, I can picture her walking into the dugout and looking at your team saying that's all they're going to get if she gets out of it, right?
And you take the momentum. That's huge if you can get out of a bases-loaded jam with 1 out.
2-2. Spoiled a good pitch down and away.
This is one of those innings where it has the potential to be a big inning, but 2 runs is not a big inning. And when you're playing at this level, you just want to avoid those big innings.
Beal's offense has improved this year, especially reaching base. Rising tide has lifted all boats for the Wildcats. Swing and a miss, elevated, got a couple of back-to-backs there. Wow.
That was crushed.
She's ready.
Now that ball is up there somewhere, long gone.
Godwin, 6 doubles, 4 homers this year, slugging .549. You hit it that far, you're getting something soft, 0-2.
And that is the classic case of you know it's coming, and even if you can anticipate it, if it's executed perfectly, it doesn't really matter.
North Carolina native, went to East Columbus High School, and down she goes. Didn't see anything firm again.
The confidence. You feel it after that big swing and a miss. You get the call again. You're like, yes, shaking your head. I am dialed in on this changeup. The location and the movement. You saw the speed, of course, slowed down, but diving through the zone, it's exactly how you want to do it.
Boy, this conference got better when this player transferred in from Cal State Fullerton, and this team got much better. It's hard to describe the tools that Megan Delgadillo possesses, but just understand this. She rewrote the Cal State Fullerton record book. Coming in as a graduate. And a big, big part of this program. 1-1 the count. And they're asking of her, go ahead and hit traditionally a little bit more. We don't need all speed. You can use those hands and drive it some. As she hits it hard out towards short. She knows what she's dealing with out there. Beal does. Got rid of it very quickly and efficiently. They managed to get Delgadillo this time.
This is a sneaky play from Taylor Beal. Almost got caught out of position a little bit. You saw the long hop, and so she goes to get and attack that long hop to make it a short hop. She is special at shortstop, one of the best to do it in the country.
Chance for Lexi McDonald to earn her 4th start of the year, and she's in the hole 0-1. The junior McDonald out of Silo, Oklahoma. Had a big, strong finish to her year last year, starting 32 games, hit .349 a season ago. Just off the plate. Lexi born in Shawnee, the daughter of Kate and Mike. Brother played some college baseball as she hits a high pop-up into right center field. Good communication. This on a broadcast the other day as Malin misses outside to the talented Logan Cole. Gajewski calls this maybe his most rewarding team, but most challenging team to coach, trying to figure out how to practice them the best. He's turned up the volume on practice a little bit as that swung and missed, feeling like this year's squad needs intense practices.
Well, just looking at their schedule, how tough has their not only non-conference, but like even this week, they go up to Arizona State for a non-conference, if you will, game that is between 2 Big 12 teams. But the choice to go do that, and then you look at how many tough opponents they've played and playing away from home. So that tells me that you're thinking end game. I have an All-American in the circle. That's all you need to get to Oklahoma City. You've got to start in the circle, and they have it with Ruby Malin. But then how can we test the waters with our young team and figure out what pieces need to be where so that come May, we are ready to go?
This is how she does what she does, correct?
Power, power, and more power. You will not see an off-speed pitch with Malin. You're going to see 70 to 72. She's going to work the drop on both sides of the plate, and she's going to occasionally go upstairs with the rise ball. I love the fact that she's now thrown 3 strikeouts in a row. Of course, we touched on the 4 walks in the first inning, which led to those 2 runs for Arizona. But it's just you have to find the reset somewhere, and she found it, striking out the freshman and Jenna Sniffen, then went back-to-back with Taylor Beal to close out that bases-loaded jam, and now she's rolling it here again with 3 in a row.
Yeah, spins a screwball. Looked like it caught the outside corner. Didn't get the call there to Dakota Kennedy. Walked, eventually moved around on a wild pitch, came around to score on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Kaya Altmaier. There's a fun little number that talks about Kenny G's ability to take on scary and challenging non-conference schedules, and I'll just throw it at you this way. Arizona tonight is playing their 25th home game. 25th. Oklahoma State has played 6. That's a huge difference.
That's a big difference.
I mean, if you're not ready, and at the end of the day, the biggest tournament is not a home game for anybody.
That's correct.
So he's been there since 2019. So, you think about the guts that it takes to have your athletes growing in an uncomfortable setting. They could have absolutely had a mid-major come to their house, had a nice gate, sold some snacks and beverages, and had a midweek game instead of dragging out here early and, to your point, taking on Arizona State.
And I look at their RPI right now for Oklahoma State, 16, so still have some room for growth, especially if you can get a couple of wins here in Tucson against Arizona, who has an RPI of 13. So RPI of 16, most likely, if the tournament was today, you're probably going to have to be hitting the road somewhere, maybe sneaking in to host a regional. And you win that, advance, probably hitting the road for supers. So you want to be tested? Well, they've done that. They've done everything they can to test this young team.
Dakota Kennedy again making her work. Puts that one on the ground. In between hot plate nicely by Godwin, who steps on the bag. If you're hanging with us for the entire start, I'll tell you this, and the entire game. When number 66 starts getting ground balls, you're in trouble. And that's when she's right. I do agree with you, though. She kind of needed to dig herself, to feel herself, and get those strikeouts to kind of pump the confidence back up.
Yeah, and there were a couple of timeouts in that first inning, but you could kind of tell that everyone was like, okay, she's going to figure it out. Just give her a little bit of a breath. I'm telling you, that base is loaded with one out for Arizona. I always circle that. That's a big opportunity. You have those moments. Coach Candrea, when coaching us, he would always say, if you have an opportunity, you've got to take it. Cannot leave anything on the table when you're in conference.
Malin's ERA right above 1, 10th in the nation coming in. As that one is slapped foul off the screen. Shockey had a shocky approach last time up. Just a high bounding ball out towards short. You had to eat it. She's tough to deal with. Well, any great lineup's diverse. It just can't be one type of hitter. Down she goes. Kenzie Fowler and I being with us here. We wonder if the hitters may arrive. I know that one of the pitchers' town car got here right on time, and she's been good ever since. It's Devin. Another town car got here a little bit late, but once she hopped out and got comfortable, Ruby's here as well now. It's fun with the game when you have real stars, isn't it?
Well, and you just always look at the first inning for pitchers. Sometimes that is where you have to be the most careful because it takes a second to settle in, especially when you're the visitor. This is a hostile environment. The weather's perfect, though. I will say that. It is uncharacteristically cold here in Tucson, but as a Tucson local, I am thriving because I know the heat is around the corner. But yeah, it's a packed house. You could tell Devin was very comfortable in that first inning, pitching in her home field.
Claire Tim fights that one off, the talented right fielder. Tim is sub 200 batting average, but adds a bunch of walks to pump up the on base to 326. She was 2 for 2, a couple of triples, and a win against Penn State back at the end of March. Had a hit against Stanford last year in the Women's College World Series. Good pitch right in on her hands. There's not enough room, though, for Jenna Sniffen. So defense, whether it was Coach Candrea or Coach Lowe, Caitlin Lowe, defense is a must if you're a Wildcat, correct?
Especially with the dirt. It's hard dirt here. The ball moves a little bit quicker than maybe some places in the Midwest with a little bit more humidity, or in the South. There's the dryness of the air makes the dirt hard, and so you'll see a lot of opposing teams and a lot of visitors sometimes struggle to field here at Hillebrand because of the dirt, just a little bit hard. Ball scoots.
Good take on a screwball outside, 2-2. It's a cooler night, so the ball won't fly quite as much. Play maybe even. It doesn't soften that hard pan on the infield, though, to Kenzie's point. Got it off her foot, so we'll do it again. That's a lot, huh? In conference? I mean, that's a resume.
I mean, if the season ends right now, you're looking at who's potentially the Big 12 Player of the Year. To be able to put up these numbers on both sides of the plate at this level, to me, we need to talk about it. It's incredible.
It's rolled foul. I think the most fun part when you talk about Devin, too, is it hasn't been a perfect journey. Missing all of last year with an injury. Not much of a hitter. Really wasn't asked to hit 21 and 22. All of a sudden, 23 starts exploding as a hitter. Throws 171 innings. The strikeouts are way up this year. Down off the end of the bat, it's lined into center field. First step is everything, though, for Shockey. A pretty good at bat, by the way, for Tim.
I'm writing that in my scorebook as we speak. Good at bat. That's a great at bat. See a lot of pitches.
And so do your teammates. That's the key. They're watching too, all those pitches.
Yeah, and let's talk about it in the dugout. Why were you able to foul off so many pitches? Were you looking on one side of the plate or the other?
But she gets Bloodworth to go after the first pitch. That's a nice bounce back. After you have a long at bat, you love nothing more than a one-pitch out.
Strikeouts are fun, but outs where you only have to throw one pitch are more fun.
Jenna Sniffen, the third baseman. Megan Bloodworth, by the way, a really gifted shortstop, has had a bigger for her offensive year, too.
Sniffen was playing well off the line there.
Yeah, Bloodworth homered the other night up in Tempe. Change up. Everyone oohs and ahs as Edwards is frozen. That was Bloodworth to finish the thought. Her 6th home run of the year. Hot shot, base hit, right field. Race on through the bag. So Edwards, she's got it figured out. She's 2 for 2, Talon Edwards.
And 2 for 2 with solid hits. Had a hit just exactly like this in the first inning to center field. Turns on this one. So quiet at the box. She's so into her legs when she's at the plate and just lets her hands work.
She knows the Wildcats and they know her. Last year, Stillwater Regional, May 25th, talking about Edwards at first. She had a 2-run home run in that regional against the Arizona Wildcats. Again, they know her and she knows them. That one is high. Conversation time briefly. Defensive meeting, which will spawn an offensive meeting as well. Pick a meeting. What are we talking about? Either meeting.
It goes together, though. It's the pitch location feeding the defense. And so you know that the pitching coach, Coach Conrad for Arizona, and the defensive coach for Arizona, Lauren Lappin, are consistently communicating in the dugout. What are we throwing? What do we need to be set up for? Is the easier out potentially at second base? With the speed of Tia Warsaw at the plate, should we throw to contact, let her hit it to Jenna Sniffen, force the ball to Taylor Beal, and get that lead out at second?
On the way back to the dugout, Caitlin Lowe stopped by my good friend Smokey Eads, home plate umpire. Did a little lobbying for an extra inch here, an extra inch there.
You guys are besties.
We are kind of besties. I see him every summer. He's the lead umpire at the PGF Championship, so get a chance to spend some time with him. Got a big personality, a good umpire. Drops down a bunt. This is going to test that defense, and it passes. As that one is high. I promise you folks at home, you were listening, and I promise I was too. It's funny when you think about Hadhood as far as that goes as well. On that list of players, she's known as one of the great prep players ever, softball-wise, in that state. They think of Alex Bregman, baseball player years ago, and then Rachel in that same breath as far as prep coming through there. He was a high school ball player before he went to LSU. And then she had a great career in New Mexico.
Well, now my turn to ignore you. But I was watching, while you were talking, I was watching the base umpires having the communication about who has the pitch clock. So, yes, it was a pitch clock issue, and first base umpire Mike Bartling was communicating that he has the pitch clock on him and making sure that they keep that rule going even when technology does fail us.
This game's moving anyway. I mean, Malin left the zone, kind of vacated it in the first, but she's not going to leave it again. That's just, she may have an occasional walk here or there on 3-2. She's got action. It's lifted into left field. Hands out by her side. Warsup makes that play easy. And they get Altmaier here to start things in the bottom of the third inning. We talk about, and you can see it in your shot there, the trips in succession for Oklahoma State. You talk here about the national championships. And the history here, the last one being in 2007 for Mike Candrea-led Arizona Wildcats. 6 and 7 back-to-back national champions. A good firm right on the inside corner to the slugger nets. Don't want to let her extend her hands 0-1.
You can see the movement of that drop. Her drop has the ability to tail a little bit, arm side, like right there. So it's tailing down, of course. True drop ball, top spin, 12-6, but the way she rolls her fingers over on top of it, sometimes it just leaks inside, almost got a little bit of screw bite to it.
That one misses outside. I love when she shadow pitches. She's done that about a half dozen times. She's telling herself something immediately after.
To me, it's something with the release point and just keeping her fingers, getting them off the ball a little bit too quickly. It's why it's down in the zone. That one, of course, up in the zone. She's been really locating the arm side drop ball to me. It's the away pitch to the righties where she struggled a little bit, finding that location and bringing it up in the zone for a strike.
She wears number 66 to honor her grandfather, Wayne. It's a unique softball number, certainly, who played college football and professionally as well. Her dad, Wayne, same name, played college football in Nebraska and Wyoming. But honors grandpa with that number 66. That was his number.
I'm pretty sure his number, his jersey is retired at Nebraska.
Yes.
University of Nebraska. It's pretty big time.
She's having a similar collegiate career. What an honor. He was a great prep player at Scott Catholic, won a couple of state championships. She was the Gatorade Player of the Year her senior year in Nebraska. 3-2, got her. That one disappeared just enough away.
She's pumped after that one, and she should be. A 5th strikeout. You can tell she's dialed in. Curveball there.
Yeah.
Doesn't go to that very often. I love the emotion.
Well, you talked about it. Your mind is thinking down, down, or even in, down, in, down. That was away. Good spin, good late spin to that one. She goes back to a downward dive to Sydney Stewart, her fellow battery mate for a couple of years.
Anytime you have a whip under 1, it's good numbers right there for Ruby.
What a year it's been for Stewart. What an impact transfer with the 10 home runs, 30 walks to sport a .534 on base percentage. Kenzie in such a vital position, too, to come in and take this program over behind the plate.
Just the addition of her bat in this lineup, so you're thinking about the middle, the power for Arizona is pretty new, considering they were not in the lineup last year.
Boy, a top spin bolt on a line drive left field off the bat of Sydney Stewart. That's just the second hit of the game.
Line shot off her former teammate, but you have Sydney Stewart, who's a junior, but transferred from Washington, and then you have Devin Netz, who bats in front of her, who did not hit a season ago. And now the hitter at the plate, Miranda Stoddard, another one of the home run hitters for Arizona, was predominantly just in the circle, did not hit at all a season ago. So the power for Arizona, really new. But what's interesting is that you have new power, but they're juniors and seniors, so they're veterans. You can tell that there's a mental piece there that's a little bit different. It's been fun to watch the trio, the home run hitters for Arizona this season.
So I learned in conversation with them that around the batting cages, they sing together. They harmonize quite well together. A 3-person harmony, Wicked, Defying Gravity.
Oh, well, that's quite the choice.
It's different, it's unique. There are notes that challenge many to hit. This is fact, though. I'm known for hyperbole. I know that, but this is fact. I've got it from right here in the batter's box. She shared with me earlier this week. We sing together, Defying Gravity.
I would like to hear that.
I think we're going to work to hear that.
It's a tough song to sing. That's a sing in the shower only type of song.
Or driving alone.
Right, you gotta hit that note.
Clearly alone.
So if 3 people are singing that song, who's taking the high note? That's my question.
I can't help you with that.
Gotta hit that Cynthia Urvivo note at the end.
In on the hands, fights it off season. talked about learning more about effective velocity this year. A little bit more advanced in studying. She learned it as a pitcher, but it helped her then as a hitter. Understanding, so she learns a little bit about how she can make a difference with her pitches. But then all of a sudden she says, once I learned that, the science of it, I became a better hitter.
And having the off year to really take the time to understand that and watch and grow.
Beat her that time up, and it's a fly ball to right field. Rosie Davis is the first out of the inning. You go one after another with this Arizona Wildcat team, and they'll talk about how they learn from one another, how they push one another, and then they'll pause and give a ton of credit offensively. I know they're working defensively now, to Amber Freeman and what she has brought to their offense. Coach, ASU alum.
Well, that was a fun series to watch. I know you called that series and got to talk to her, former ASU great in Pac-10, no, Pac-12, I think.
I think she was 12er.
Was it 12? Okay.
She was a 12-pack. 2-0 the count to Amanda Hassler.
Both of these coaching staffs have just absolute studs on them. There's a good look at Caitlin Lowe, and to her left, that's Amber Freeman, All-American at Arizona State, now the hitting coach for Arizona.
There's some offense for the Cowgirls. Big aggressive turn for Hassler. It's fired in with the slide. It's a double. Amanda Hassler, the catcher, stirs up this offense. They've needed this. It's an extra base hit. We haven't had any of those.
And a little bit of life offensively from someone other than Talon Edwards at the top of the lineup, who is 2 for 2 with 2 sharp singles. This one sneaks in there.
All right, it's go time. The Cowgirls hope. Carly Godwin right behind. 1-0 the count. Carly struck out back in the first inning. 10 combined extra base hits for Carly. She's driven in 20 runs this year. Lost the bat. That was a swing and a miss, not a foul ball, correct?
Well,
Smokey's got his hands raised. They're going to decide if they're sending her back or not. I think Smokey Eads thought it was a foul ball.
I think I saw, yeah, there was definitely the foul ball. Hands were raised, and I think that's why you're seeing Coach Gadsby talk about maybe potentially a replay, and you could see him kind of turn to Godwin saying, did you hit it? Did you make contact? And foul ball, yep.
That doesn't, obviously there was a strike either way.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, she lost the handle. Kind of had that top hand roll over and the bat flew out. It was a unique look. At least she wasn't cheated, Carly. Godwin, another Gatorade Player of the Year. So many in this game. In North Carolina. Fair ball, sniffing from across the diamond. 2 outs in the inning. Right below that aggressive swing again, gets a ground ball out. Two outs, runner in the scoring position. Megan Delgadito, who grounded out last time up.
See how calmly she just looked over Hassler at second, shuffled her feet, and a bullet. The freshman has a cannon of an arm at third.
Well, you can just start counting the hits over the last 8 years for this athlete. 201 at Riverside Poly High School. Hundreds of hits when playing at Cal State Fullerton. 437 career on base as he chases up 1-1 the count.
A little surprised to see her swing away here, just because I know what kind of slap hitter she is, and this is an opportunity to just put the ball on the ground, make something happen.
Lifts that one to left field, hugging the line into the corner. Good range. That got comfortable. This time she didn't wait around to get set up.
I like the approach for the rookie. Go down and get something and hunt down. Have your vision be low in the zone. If you get fooled on something upstairs, that's all right, but split the zone. Have your eyes be low and just go get your hacks.
Tagalog will run. Zadie Tagalog, the sophomore speedster, the Tucson native from Canyon Del Oro High School. I still think that's hard to do, what you're saying, though. Hunting down with that kind of heavy depth on a thing. You've got to be strong to hit a ball hard through the infield like that.
The hardest part is to be on time. So you're going to split the zone. You have 4 quadrants, up and out, you know, high and in, low and out. And if you just split the plate, split the zone, go hunt something, just be on time.
Taylor Beal dropped down to beauty. They're chasing just one more run at the bottom of the order. Beal with the sacrifice bunt. Tagalog moves up.
Productivity from the bottom of the lineup is every coach's dream. This is something that you expect from the top and the middle of your lineup, but when your 7, 8, and now 9 hitters are making something happen and putting together a little bit of rally, whether this runner at second base, Tagalog, comes around to score or not, you can just kind of feel the life coming from the bottom of the lineup here.
Marana, Arizona, that's on the way to Phoenix, just a little bit out of town. That's where Logan Cole is from, went to South Point Catholic, the junior. She slaps that one off the screen, and while she plays her position, which is second base here on a college campus, her fiance plays shortstop for the Athletics. Jacob Wilson, an alum of another school in this state, Grand Canyon University. Oh, the conversations in the offseason.
Arizona got to go watch a spring training game. Go watch the A's. I believe it was against the Diamondbacks, and so most of the team is probably thinking Diamondbacks, but then of course Logan Cole is sporting that A's jersey.
You bet. You bet.
Pretty cool opportunity for her mid-season. You're up I-10 going to play at Arizona State. You get a day off. Can I go watch my fiance? Yeah, but the whole team is coming too. Well, all right, great.
I saw where he got his first big league home run here just a couple of days ago. His fiance with a wonderful at-bat. You talk about flipping the lineup over, getting production. That's a great at-bat out of the 9-hole.
You have the leadoff single in the 7-hole with Jenna Sniffen. The productive sac bunt, cannot overlook that. And then, of course, the walk. You cannot ask for anything more from your bottom 3 hitters in the lineup.
Go time now for the veteran Malin as she deals with a fellow veteran in Dakota Kennedy as that pitch is outside. 1-0 the count. When you get a series like this, and then you have 2 players like this matching up, this is when you just geek out on the sport. 2 All-Americans battling right now. A high strike, 1-1. A lot of umpires in the crowd. They didn't like that one.
I love it. I love a high zone. It's just something that if it's not called consistently, it kind of throws you for a loop. But that pitch, to me, is a strike all day.
The 1-1. And if you're going to go up, then you're hopefully effective where she was down. Good take. There are times, and you dealt with this as a pitcher, that a hitter will take a pitch intentionally, and other times they take it because you were fooled. Let's be honest. Hits it hard, but on the ground. They get the trail runner that time. Runners move to second and third. That's a big second out. You could hear it, couldn't you? That was uncomfortable contact.
A little bit on the end of the bat, just due to the spin and the rotation from Malin. Not a double play ball. Get the sure out.
Shockey doesn't strike out much, but she was a strikeout victim back in the second inning. Infield single in the first. It's the last kind of hitter Malin wants to deal with. Doesn't get a bite up, 1-0 the count. She's had to work. You can see 92 pitches here in the 4th inning, in part a very lengthy first inning in which she faced 8 Wildcats.
You can see the breakdown in Those 92 pitches, now 93. It was about 50-50 balls and strikes. So 49 strikes to 44 balls. It's a great pitch.
On 2-0 as well.
Just attack.
Look at how much she values contact. Shockey as a slap hitter, those hands separated on her bat as she digs in. The hitter and me wouldn't like. They're both unafraid to pitch in. And that helps. Lexi McDonald fights that one off. She might have fought it off perfectly, and she did. It's a Texas leaguer for Lexi, who had flied to center field back in the second inning.
So both teams here trading leadoff base hits. This inside pitch, just a little bit of a jam shot that finds enough grass in front of Kennedy out there and left. Late in the game here, the fifth, how can you take this opportunity and make something out of it? We saw Arizona try to do that, but Ruby Malin was able to get those 2 key ground ball outs. This is that cat and mouse, the strategy, which team can execute given the opportunities.
They kind of had a feeling, and obviously if you're Gajewski, as he chats with home plate umpire Smokey Eads for a moment, you kind of had a feeling that because they didn't capitalize Arizona, just another tick of momentum in that other dugout. And that's the perfect way if you think you've got any momentum to start it. Rachel Hadhood, by the way, is running out there. We were speaking of the grad transfer. She's running at first base. Rachel Hadhood, pride of New Mexico out there, will run for Lexi. And Claire Tim's turn. She lined out to center field back in the third inning. She pops that one back to the screen. Was that the one you put the note, good at bat?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm glad I have you here.
My really intense notes. Good at bat. Stay for more notes.
Oh, stay, I like it. I just know she made her throw a lot of pitches as she drives that one toward the wall and left. There's another good at bat, but the ballpark holds it. Oh, Claire Tim just missed it. Oh, she was on that one.
I thought that was gone. Yeah, she's just really seeing the ball differently down in that 8 hole and just did not have the distance.
Pride of Buena Park, California, Kennedy High School, Corona Angels alum Claire Tim. And then there's Megan Bloodworth. She knocked one out in Tempe against ASU the other night. Hard top spin line drive right over the wall. 6 home runs on the year. That OPS, she's really breaking out offensively this year. Hits it hard off the glove of Sniffen. Far enough away, she reaches. Nice little cleanup job by Beal, but once she got there, nothing she could do. Hit it hard, though.
That ball was smoked. If Jenna Sniffen comes up with this play, it's the play of the game. And see how far in she's playing. She's been playing there all night, way off of the line.
A bit of a cat killer now in Talon Edwards. We talked about that home run last year against Arizona. She's 2 for 2 tonight. She's seeing it well, and she sees that one high. 1-0 the count to Edwards.
Now look to me right now. This is the situation for Oklahoma State right now. This is a hitter dialed in against Devin Netz. Especially you see 2 teammates in front of you get on base when you've already done that twice yourself. That confidence is just going to stack. And then you're looking out, seeing your teammate at second base, going, I'm getting you home right now.
Sis Trinity played college softball, Mizzou, Texas Tech, San Jose State. Painting on the outside corner, 2-1 the count. Talon back in her younger days played for one of my favorites, Rocky Thompson, who coaches that Birmingham Bolts program. What a program that is, what a coach he is amongst travel coaches. Changed up on her, good pitch.
would not be surprised if we saw that pitch again.
We saw that earlier. She doubled up on that pitch.
The 2 singles that Edwards have against nets were on the hard stuff.
She's hard, and it's lined into center field. It's a base hit. They'll stop the runner at third on a hop to the plate. Talon Edwards, 3 for 3 tonight.
Goes with the hard stuff, and Talon Edwards is ready. Her 3 at-bats look exactly the same. I think this was a good hold for Coach Gajewski. I think the throw home from Shockey would have been a momentum killer offensively. So you hold, and this is the part of the lineup where it's go time. Rue Malin has kept this team in the game. Of course, the rocky 2 runs in the first, but has shut it down since. 3rd time through the lineup now for the Cowgirls.
And it's Tia Warsup that gets the call. And she gets the call back to the bench, and they're going to go for a little bit more bang here with this one. What a great at bat, by the way. She was completely ready for the pitch up. With some teeth, too. Took it right back where it came from. Top of 5, you don't have to say here's your ball game, but you're certainly hanging in a pivotal point, and you just felt like when the Cats couldn't capitalize that there was a lot more to do. We were talking about the slug, the damage. They're seeking it because Michaela Wark gets the call. The Kansas transfer to pinch hit. And a home run on Valentine's Day and a win against Kentucky. Kayla Wark to pinch hit. 261, 350 on base, 6 home runs this year. Wark, Meyer, she jumps ahead 2-0. And we can tell you how great of a shortstop that Taylor Beal is, and then she can show you. And that's what I mean with the stars being stars. Three and 0 the count. Are you taking note if you're Caitlin Lowe, by the way? And here's what I mean by that. They were comfortable with Devin Netz last inning. She was squared up.
I think there's going to be some talks about maybe bringing in someone else, but the question is who? It's kind of been a little bit of a small weakness for Arizona because you know who your number 1 is, and that's Netz. That's why she's pitching on Friday night, but consistently, who's going to give you those innings behind her? They have the arms, that is for sure. It's the deepest staff that Arizona has ever had in terms of bullpen depth. It's just consistently who's going to give you that best chance.
That was an interesting at bat. If you wanted to live in that while we were chatting, you had the 3-0 green light to Altmaier, who came up empty 3-1, only to take an inches off pitch for ball 4.
Zone got a little bit small on the outside part of the plate there.
Here's Devin. Walked back in the first inning. Struck out in the 3rd inning. 1-0 the count. That's Maranatha High School, and then finished up her journey here as a prep player. Maranatha in Pasadena, California. When she missed her time last year, was around here, but then spent some time at home in Pasadena too. Evan's brother Dawson, the same kind of journey at Arizona as a baseball player. He was a pitcher. Innings pitch. Her bro here, Dawson, his time is done. He's doing some coaching now. (2-0) rolled towards short. The only play is to fire it to first when you're playing a shift like that. Davis gobbled it up, thought, can I run to the bag? I better not.
Yeah, if Oklahoma State is not in the shift that they were in, that's a base hit up the middle for Devin Netz. But because Rosie Davis was playing on the other side of the bag, she's able to field that ball in kind of the rover position, but unable to get that lead out.
Hit that one hard, didn't she?
Yeah, hit it well. fighting something off inside.
You know, Sydney Stewart's last at bat a single. We were just reminded how someone has that length and leverage in those long and strong arms, but yet is so short and quick to the softball. So hard to do for me for taller hitters. But she also walked back in the first inning. Originally from San Jose, California, played basketball very well at St. Francis High School. Line right up the ladder. They add their own double play to the mix. Little hop from Dick.
Here we go.
That's how it works. Great volleyball player, Davis, freshman All-American last year. When I say volleyball, that was back in our Middle Tennessee Christian days in high school, the super sophomore. Homered 8 times a year ago, has 4 long balls this year, Rosie. On the attack, 0-2. Davis earlier this year had a walk-off winner against the Alabama Crimson Tide at Shriners Clearwater event. Sid tried to sell it. 1-2. Outs in the air. Just 1 strikeout. Bouncing ball. There's an out on the ground. That's Jenna Sniffen to Miranda Stoddard.
Devin Netz has just done such a good job pounding the zone. There's been limited times where they've been 3-ball counts, 3-0, just have been competitive in the first 2 pitches, and that's really all you can ask for.
Hassler, as we talked about, started her journey collegiately at NC State. Originally it was Kentucky, years ago commitment when she was playing for the Rhode Island Thunder Gold. Dave Lottie coaching that program, Bob Rossi, 2 great travel ball teachers in the Northeast. Then it was NC State before she arrived. She made the change, and she left making a big impact on that program. They love it that she's in black and orange. Right in on her hands. Here's the interesting thing. We showed that graphic a moment ago about outs in the air. They've been a lot of them like that. Lazy pop-ups, uncomfortable.
For Devin Netz, facing her again in the next at bat, next time she sees her, make sure that screwball is more on the white.
On the ground into center field. Carly Godwin went down and got it. Strong. That was down off the end of the bat. Good pass at the softball that time. Her first hit. She's 1 for 3.
It's a little bit of soft contact here, like you're talking about off the end of the bat. Taylor Beal can't get that one. She covers a lot of ground, but...
Well, again, you've got a perfect hitter to really get that rally going. Have the defense shook up a little bit, doing things like that. Delgadillo to perfection, bounds it into left field. Been waiting for her to pick one up. You knew
this earlier. The dirt is very hard. It's a slapper-friendly infield, and if that's in your toolkit, I was watching her swing away in her last at bat, going, I think we would see her slap and be successful, and she pulls it out there.
Pitcher's nightmare when you think about that. More than 300 collegiate hits. That's a crazy number.
She was sought after when she hit the transfer portal. Big get for Oklahoma State. And it's a hitter that has been the leadoff the majority of the season, but lately Coach Gajewski has just shaken it up a little bit, trying to get the offense going in different directions. So sitting down in the middle of the lineup, it's kind of like that de facto turning the lineup over for the second time, that secondary leadoff.
Big chance now for Rachel Hathood, who gets the call, the New Mexico transfer. 2 times All Mountain West. Just got a piece of it. Had a 27 game on base streak a season ago. That one dives down and in. Sniffen tied at third, on the ground. That's easy when you talk about off a long time ago in the bottom of the first inning. Outside corner extended just a touch, 2-1. I mean, I want it if I'm pitching.
Might have been a little bit of a makeup call for the pitch prior. I thought was a little bit more meaty than that one.
They've gotten used to that. Here's the thing. There's a number, home runs for fly ball, right? Every ball that goes into the air, she hits it out 46% of the time. Fair, obviously. That's second in the nation.
Wow.
46% of all fly balls go out. And then she hits scary ones foul like that, too.
Well, if, these teams have all the data that you and I have access to, so that is in the scouting report, we are keeping the ball low. And if you're going elevated, make sure it's in on her hands, so that way if she does hit it, it is long and foul.
There's another patient walk. You heard the moo, right? Moo moo. She's been called moo. She's moo moo since she was very, very young. I did learn, though, there is some variability. She has some cow milking skills.
Yes. Yes, it's not just a Miranda with an M type of thing, but on the farm, yes.
She's got some definite farm history for her. I kind of like that. I kind of thought that was cool. I like the nickname.
Between her and Devin Netz, the team calls them the grannies. They're the two super seniors, and it's just kind of ironic that they both play first base and they both hit and they both pitch.
I had a chance to interview both of them this past week. I'm going to share a little bit of it over the weekend with you, but one then the other, and Sierra Romero, the legend, hosted it with me. It was fun to get inside their head a little bit. The grannies, I like that a lot. Kiki's out at first. Kiku Escobar, the speedster, she'll run. Jenna Sniffen hits a high pop-up onto the outfield grass, back behind second. That was an easy play for Rosie Davis. Now, the one a couple of innings ago for Beal, not easy.
This felt like the moment offensively for Oklahoma State. Had bases loaded and one out, pinch hitter at the plate, trying to bring some power. And a diving play, great, you get the out, but then you turn it for two to get out of the jam.
Taylor pounds that one off that hard dirt. It's an infield single. Had a sac bunt back in the fourth. That's her first hit of the game.
I think that was a hit and run for Arizona. And Jenna Sniffen was trying to have a little hit and run action as well on her first pitch swinging. You can just kind of tell right now, Caitlin Lowe and Arizona putting this team in motion, the bottom of the lineup, trying to make something happen, especially with the fact that you look at the scoreboard, Ruby Malin has had 7 walks. So what does that tell me? That she's going to want to pump the zone to the bottom of the lineup. And so you think about that, plays into your strategy. Okay, if the pitcher's going to be pumping the zone and we have a runner on, let's put our hitters in motion and get the bats going.
Arizona just 2 of 10 with runners on base, 2 of 10 tonight. Either one of these teams have obviously gotten the hits they want. Oklahoma State is 3 for 12 with runners on, but they have not scored a run.
And also worth noting, that's only the 4th hit of the game for Arizona.
Blew her away. I mean, blew her away with the rise ball that went right up the ladder. Boy, what a pitch.
Strikeout number 6 for Ruby. Just so pretty. There's nothing tougher than a pitcher that's dominant down and up. If you ask any hitter, they can deal all day with the side-to-side stuff, but if you're splitting the zone, going vertical, so tough to hit against.
That one dives down and away, that drop with that screwball spin to it. So, other night, she shuts out Malin. ASU 13 ground ball outs. They were a little bit more engaged, and they bit a little bit more on pitches down in the zone. 5 ground ball outs tonight. As she fires a strike, 1-1 the count. We'll see Malin again this weekend for sure. She's been through a lot, already accomplished a lot. This one may have her tossing and turning a little bit tonight. If in fact her team doesn't rally, which of course they could.
Yeah, on paper, obviously not her cleanest performance, but nonetheless has kept her team in the game and has stuck out the tough walks and the drop ball where she just flat out has not been able to locate it at times. But just continues to compete. I mean, this is an All-American in the circle. This is an All-American at the plate. Look at that first inning, 44 pitches. Wow.
These are 2 gunslingers, really gutsy pitchers tonight, isn't it?
Agreed.
I mean, it really is. They're just inflappable, both of them.
Navigate inning after inning. I'm looking down at my scorebook. How many left on base for Oklahoma State? They've had 8 hits on the night, so the opportunities have been there inning after inning. And there's just a clutch factor that you have to have, and Devin Netz has that at the plate. She has it defensively, and she has it in the circle for Arizona. That's why we talked about it earlier in this game. She's the X factor for the Wildcats.
This hitter, though, has nearly taken a bite out of her twice and has seen her really well tonight. Tim, a line drive on a great at-bat to center field and about 1.5 feet away from a homer to left field last time up.
I'm very comfortable starting this inning with Claire Tim if I'm Coach Gajewski, just because of the at-bats to your point, and then you know that Talon Edwards is looming due up third, and that's the hitter that has had Devin Netz's number on the night.
You need 2. You need 2 to keep hitting and to keep playing. That's all you want. And it starts with 1. Boy, Tim is just, again, just joining us, had 2 really solid at-bats. However it lines up, coming in, hitting 194, throw that number out. She has seen Netz tonight. 1-2. What an at-bat.
And in a pitcher's count, 1-2. Gets enough underneath it. Thought Dakota Kennedy might have a play, but just over her head. And look, I think we spoke that into existence, but Claire Tim earned it with how well that she has been feeling against Devin Netz. Even though she was 0 for 2, you could just feel those were 2 good at-bats. That
Meantime, Bloodward takes a ride to center field. Just enough room in this ballpark. Megan tried to keep the party going and tie this game up. Remember, she homered a couple of nights ago in Tempe.
and had a base hit in her last at-bat. So this part of the lineup for Oklahoma State, dicey if you're Devin Netz. How do you navigate it?
Conversation time. As you ask the question, they want to talk about it.
Miranda Stoddard did warm up between innings. I was kind of watching down there in the bullpen for Arizona after she had her at bat. She hustled down, so she is warm. If Coach Caitlin Lowe wants to go to her other senior who's playing first base right now defensively.
This is, to me, you tell me if I'm wrong, that's a two-way conversation. I'm going to guess Netz is going to be honest with where she's at.
100%, and that's what comes from being a fifth-year senior. You can have those honest conversations and know that whatever Coach Conrad is asking of his fifth-year senior, you're going to get an honest answer about how do you feel against a hitter who has gone 3 for 3 with 3 shots.
You saw Brooke Mannon. If there is a change, Mannon is warming in the pen. My guesses would be Stoddard and Netz would just swap gloves, essentially. Stoddard would just come for first, Netz would go play first. if they were to have made that change. They're not going to. Edwards has been on it tonight, just like Tim has been on it tonight, although only 1 for 3. Edwards 3 for 3. And she starts her with a changeup. That's the changeup you wanted last at bat with 2 strikes.
You're right. And all 3 hits off of the bat of Talon Edwards have been on the hard stuff from Devin Netz.
Another changeup up out over the plate, 0-2 though.
Do you throw 3 in a row?
I'll ask you.
I would go a miss out of the zone with something hard and then go back to the change.
Like helmet, bill high, rise ball?
Something low, way, way, way away where she can't touch it. Then just go right back to that changeup.
0-2 the count we watched together. Nets.
That works.
That was low. Almost looked like it for a minute. It crossed up Stewart.
Yep.
Had some good action on it. That's why. I think she wanted it further in.
Agreed. It's one of those things where you're going to go hard in almost to the feet. Let's see. I'd go change here.
1-2. What a game. She hit her. She hit her. Looked like a rise ball that she held on to. Did I see that correctly? Or was that a changeup in the fingertips?
No, I think that was just definitely something hard and in, that when you're a right-handed pitcher and you're facing a left-handed batter, and you know the conversation is, hey, if we're going to go in, do not miss White. So where are you going to miss? Well, there's only so much space in the box for those lefties. But how about Talon Edwards turn into her team? Yes, get that momentum.
0-1 the count. A really tough hitter here in Warsaw. They pinch hit for her back in the 5th inning, and that was that heartbreaking double play that Michaela Wark lined into. Didn't pop or ground into, lined into. Well, we've told you the story of Tia, the speed. I mean, game-changing speed. Devin heads off the diamond now. Can't tell she's dealing with the blister.
Yeah, it's got to be something with the hand.
Yeah, she knew exactly what she wanted the veteran to treat her hand. Smokey's coming in, checking on her. Just looks like cold water and then a towel.
A little unique. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Typically you're going to see the rosin. If you need something to kind of help get your hand a little bit more sticky. It is cooler out here tonight in Tucson.
It was kind of a cool moment. You don't see a moment like that. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. That action right there kind of said, this is my game. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Now, she was caring for herself, which you must do. But that was kind of a unique shot. I think Smokey's ready to play. The home plate umpire, he's ready to go.
No, but you're right. A freshman may just play through that, but a fifth-year senior knows that, hey, this is a big moment, and if I'm needing something real quick, well, I can use the timeout and get that.
She goes in, you could see reaching back, missed her spot that time, Stewart. Curious what it was, whether it was a small blister, some sort of substance stuck on her fingers. She'll talk about it later. 2-1. In. Good curveball-like spin, but that's in and off the plate. 3-1. Oh, you bet they're feeling it, and they should. The 3-1. It's low and inside. It's ball 4. Tying run moves to second base. Go-ahead run is on.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change for Arizona, and I think this is the right move. One granny hands it off to the other.
1 run allowed. A home run off the bat of an unlikely slugger, Claire Tim. It was a good outing, a really gutsy outing tonight. She sprayed a lot of hits all over the diamond. She'll go back out and play first. And again, didn't use strikeouts at all.
No, and you could just kind of tell in that last at bat, the pitches were just not contested.
Like that.
Exactly. That's what Stoddard has done. She's just going to go drop outside, drop inside, has the ability to throw an off-speed pitch. And the one pitch that is improved for Stoddard this season is her rise ball.
Rosie Davis 0 for 3, dangerous certainly as she takes outside. So if you're really watching closely and you want a tiny comp, think Ruby Malin. It's different velocity, but both pitchers kind of have the same MO. They want to be at the bottom of your bat, and they do so effectively. Boy, outstanding pitch, 1 and 2. That had some giddy up on it. That had the I'm going to chase those last 2 outs effect. The 1-2 to the right side. We'll do it again. All Big 12 freshman team, Rosie Davis. Inside and off the plate. They want to know if she went around. She did not. It was close. Kind of caused a bit of a spin out of the way, and the bat almost came with her. Cowgirls unfazed on the road. High fly ball, left center field. 2 massive home runs in the 7th.
And both home runs with 2 strikes. This is a pitch that she just goes down to get. It's not a bad pitch from Stoddard. It was in the river. Just the ability for her to clear her hands there, get her barrel, and then look at the emotion surrounding the bases. How much about clutch here in the top of the 7th for Oklahoma State? Wow.
You're right, it wasn't a bad pitch. I guess she'll be the one that knows that she wanted further in. But to drop the bat head as she did, Rosie Davis, all credit to her for clearing, as you said, that front side. The hands whipped through the zone. That's line towards center field. Play is made for the 2nd out. Hassler hits that one hard. What a stunning 7th inning, and we've talked about it the entire broadcast. This team has played a half dozen games total at home. You cannot beat them up on the road. They are unfazed away from home. It's by design.
It's called battle tested. It started with the 8-hole hitter with Claire Tim with the 2-strike home run, the solo shot, and then the rest of the lineup follows.
What a thrilling game this has been in Tucson. You could hear a pin drop, by the way, outside of the visiting fans. Understandably so. Shocked here in this yard. Out towards short, played at the belt. The Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Kenny G.
For the Cowgirls, it was almost just a matter of time until those hits got stacked together, and well, those were some big hits that we just saw finally come together, and it took all 7 innings, but hey, the offense came through for Ruby in the circle.
We even kind of told a fictional story about Malin going into the dugout after giving up the 2 when it felt like it should have been a lot more, as that one's dropped down and foul up the line. And telling her teammates that's all they're going to get. I mean, you remember doing that as a pitcher, and that's kind of how it's played out, because that's all they have gotten.
Yeah, it's easy to panic, and for a pitcher that's the quality of a Ruby Malin or a Devin Netz, you're older, you've pitched in a lot of big games, it's a little bit easier to say, hey guys, have some patience for a second. I know it feels like it's all Arizona here early in the 1st, but there's a lot of ball game left.
Kenny wants them to take a look at this one, at least have a conversation. We're talking about Shockey on the last attempt. What are we talking about here, I wonder?
The only thing I can think of is that the ball hit her out of the box on the drag bunt. And here in the 7th inning, the umpires do have the ability to initiate the replay review on their own. Not sure if it was a challenge from Coach Gajewski, but the way that he was talking to the umpires, it looked like he asked, do you want to review this?
Yeah, Caitlin, not at all fond of this. She's not at all fond. Here's the look.
We haven't seen a challenge yet in this game. Maybe hits her hand.
What's funny, defense being raced right in. It did hit her hand. And she cleared the box was the question. I know she lost her game though, it's all over the field.
Shockey was trying to get this drag butt up the first base line. It's hard to tell because of where the chalk is.
Defensively, a couple of defenders pointed immediately. Now I know there's salesmanship going on there. I understand that, but a lot of times it's that gut reaction when you see something as a defender. All right, they have their looks. So it is not an out. It is a foul ball.
I'm gonna be honest, my vision's not very good, but I didn't really see it hit her hand
No?
definitively. So
Okay.
that could be also be something that you're looking at in review, saying even if it did, you know, if you're thinking it was a dead ball, it did not hit her.
Yeah.
Just gonna review all the things.
I know Caitlin noted loved that they were reviewing it.
Because if it did hit her, I thought she was out of the
I would
box.
agree. I would agree.
That tells me that there was some clearance there.
1-2 the count. Right back at it. That's strike three. Boy, there were some teeth as that one disappeared away.
All that, and Ruby picks up her 7th strikeout of the night. Just painting a corner.
Wicked screwball started middle, ended up out in that corner. Reagan Shockey goes down on strikes. Shockey has struck out twice tonight. She had struck out 6 times all year. Kaya Altmaier. 0-1 the count. Had a sac fly and an RBI back in the first inning. Walked in the 5th. San Diego native. Must be amazing if you're mailing a $125 plus pitches, but that adrenaline, that second gear, that new life you have when you're out there working. That one misses outside. I'm guessing you could bottle up and sell that adrenaline. You've been there, you've had that.
Oh yeah. Especially you see your team lift you up for 4 runs. The key is to make sure you don't pitch through that adrenaline.
Base hit, that one will roll all the way to the wall. Look at Kaya go into second. She'll wisely stop there. Well, to your point, you can sense Ruby was not about to walk anyone, so she came on the attack and Kaya was ready.
What a unique double here. This ball just rolled forever. You could see where Tim in right field was playing, way shaded to her left. A ton of room out there. I think that it's a different situation. You could see Altmaier push it for 3, but need 2 runs here for the Wildcats.
Devin gets a chance to hit now. She hit the wall in the circle. Just really ran out of gas. Had some concern about her pitching hand. Took a timeout. Wasn't really the same after that. And then the big blast off Miranda Stoddard. Hits it hard but foul. Claire Tim, Rosie Davis, huge home runs.
Got the 3 infielders with the shift on the left side of the infield. And look at the outfield for the Cowgirls. They are warning track.
That's no doubles. She tried to hit it right through that shift.
Well, you know where the pitch is coming. It's coming inside.
Devin walked back in the first, struck out and grounded out. One of the most prolific offensive players in this conference. Got it to chase up and down goes Nets. That's strike 3.
The drop ball hasn't been perfect tonight for Ruby in the circle, but what I have loved is how she's gone to the rise time and time again. In that 2-strike count, if the drop just isn't there, you can't locate it, she's got a great rise ball, goes upstairs, and of course she's throwing 70 miles an hour. It is tough to go chase down a 70-mile-an-hour rise ball. Your hands just sometimes are not fast enough to go get that.
But hold on. Can you please pass the drama? She's 1 out away, and it's her old battery mate that's hitting from Washington. And make my drama an extra large, please.
And first base is open. And
absolutely.
you think about the last 2 at-bats. The last at-bat Sydney Stewart had was that double play, but think about how sharply that ball was hit. Just absolutely on the screws, and then had a base hit in the 3rd.
Hold on now. You wouldn't at all be willing to bring the winning run to the plate, would you?
I would pitch Sydney Stewart very carefully. It's one of those things where you do not want the best hitter to beat you. And if you're more comfortable pitching to a Miranda Stoddard than you are your former catcher who spent years with you in the bullpen and knows all of your secrets, yes, I am very comfortable pitching around that and having a different situation at the plate.
In, not about to let her get those hands extended to start anyway. 1-0 the count.
I'm not saying an intentional walk at all. Make it competitive. If Sydney Stewart expands her zone and goes to chase something down, well, absolutely.
Beautiful pitcher's pitch over the outside, 1-1. Talk about touch and feel. That one started in the left-handed batter's box. Outside, good take.
I love that spot for Malin.
A hitter sees it well, but it's perilous when they make contact with that pitch. 2-1. Outside, same spot. Battery mates battle again. The 3-1 to the right side. 3-2 the count. What a great effort out there. Claire Tim, who has had a heck of a night with the bat in her hands, nearly made a circus catch. At least gave it her best try.
You got your best pitch right here. Go a little bit out of the zone, but whatever your best pitch is.
3-2 inside. She did lose her. The winning run comes to the plate in the form of a slugger and Miranda Stoddard. Home runs have been her norm this year. She's got 11. What a night in Tucson this has been. She's walked twice. Bouncing ball out to second. The Cowgirls pull it off on the road. What a victory for Oklahoma State.
That was so impressive. You never give up on a game. Of course, Ruby Malin, let's talk about it again and again and again. She kept her team in that ball game with not her best performance. And that to me is the sign of an All-American. When you can get a win like this, a top 25 win on a sold out crowd Friday night, and it's not your best stuff, but you get it done. And how about the Cowgirls and the offense? They came to play in the 7th inning.
Yeah, they kind of were nipping at the heels the whole night, and then those home runs came at the very end of